Life is unpredictable. One moment, everything is going according to plan, and the next, the ground beneath your feet collapses. People betray you. Plans fail. Dreams shatter. And in those moments, most people break. They curse their fate. They ask, "Why me?" They drown in sorrow, fear, or anger. But there exists a rare breed of individuals who remain unshaken. They do not complain. They do not beg for mercy. They do not let external events dictate their inner peace. These people are Stoics. Stoicism is not just a philosophy. It is a way of life, a way of thinking that makes you immune to suffering, a way of seeing the world that turns every obstacle into an opportunity, a way of existing that ensures you remain strong no matter what life throws at you. The Stoics had one simple rule: you cannot control the world, but you can always control yourself. This is where most people fail. They spend their lives trying to control what is outside of them. They want people to behave a certain way. They want circumstances to be in their favor. They want life to follow their plan. And when it doesn't, they fall apart. They become victims of their emotions, prisoners of their circumstances. But the Stoic does not fight against what he cannot control. He focuses on one thing only: his own mind. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king of Rome, faced wars, betrayals, plagues, and personal tragedies. Yet in his private writings, he did not complain. Instead, he reminded himself of a simple truth: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This is the foundation of Stoicism, the realization that suffering is not caused by events, but by our perception of those events. A person who loses his job may see it as a disaster or as an opportunity to start something new. A person who is insulted may feel deeply wounded, or he may see the insult as meaningless words from an ignorant person. A person who faces failure may give up, or he may see failure as the first step toward success. In every situation, it is the mind that determines whether we suffer or grow. The weak man is controlled by his emotions. He gets angry when things don't go his way. He becomes anxious about the future. He is filled with regret about the past. But the Stoic remains calm. He does not let emotions dictate his actions. He does not allow external events to control his inner world. He understands that his mind is the only thing he truly owns, and he guards it with discipline. Imagine a storm raging outside. The winds are strong. The rain is relentless. But inside a well-built house, there is peace. The Stoic builds this house within himself. He does not try to stop the storm. He simply ensures that it cannot touch him. This is why the Stoic embraces hardship. He does not avoid discomfort. He does not run from struggle. Instead, he seeks it out. He trains himself to endure. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, was a wealthy man. Yet he would deliberately sleep on the floor, wear rough clothes, and eat the simplest food. Why? To prepare himself. To remind himself that luxury was not a necessity. To make himself immune to fear. Because a man who has already faced hardship voluntarily is never afraid of losing comfort. He has trained himself to be stronger than his circumstances. The modern world fears discomfort. People want to stay in their comfort zones, surrounded by luxury, ease, and convenience. But comfort weakens the mind. It makes people fragile. It makes them afraid of pain, afraid of loss, afraid of anything that disturbs their perfect little world. And the more they avoid discomfort, the weaker they become. The Stoic does the opposite. He embraces discomfort. He takes cold showers, not because he has to, but because he wants to train his mind. He wakes up early, not because it is easy, but because it builds discipline. He controls his desires, not because he is forced to, but because he refuses it to be a slave to his impulses. But the deepest wisdom of Stoicism lies in its understanding of fate. The Stoic does not resist reality. He does not complain about what happens. He accepts it fully. He practices amor fati, the love of fate. Whatever happens, he embraces it as if he had chosen it, because he understands that life is not happening to him. Life is happening for him. Every hardship is a lesson. Every failure is a teacher. Every loss is a test. The Stoic does not say, "Why is this happening to me?" He says, "How can I use this?" A person who truly embraces Stoicism becomes unbreakable. He does not get angry when insulted, because he understands that another person's words cannot harm him unless he allows them to. He does not fear failure, because he knows that failure is simply a step toward success. He does not fear death, because he understands that death is inevitable, and fearing it is pointless. He does not chase wealth, fame, or pleasure, because he knows that happiness does not come from the external world, but from mastering his own mind. Think about this for a moment. Most people live their lives chasing things they cannot control. They want wealth, but the economy is unpredictable. They want love, but they cannot control other people. They want success, but circumstances are uncertain. The Stoic does not waste his energy chasing things that are outside his control. He focuses only on what he can control: his thoughts, his actions, his discipline, his perspective. And because of this, he is always at peace. Memento mori, remember that you must die. The Stoics carried reminders of their mortality, not to be morbid, but to stay awake, to live each day fully, to never waste time on things that do not matter. Imagine waking up every morning with the thought, "This could be my last day." How differently would you live? Would you waste time on petty arguments? Would you procrastinate on your dreams? Would you let fear stop you from taking action? The Stoic does not fear death. He uses the awareness of it to live more fully. And that is the ultimate power of Stoicism. It frees you. It makes you fearless. It makes you strong. When others panic, you remain calm. When others complain, you adapt. When others fear, you act. The world will never be fair. Life will always be uncertain. Pain will always be a part of existence. But none of these things can touch the Stoic, because he has built his fortress within. Because he does not seek control over the world. He seeks only control over himself. And that is the only control that truly matters. Now ask yourself, are you living as a Stoic? Or are you a slave to your emotions? Are you embracing challenges or running from them? Are you in control of your mind, or are you allowing the world to control you? The choice is yours. But remember this, only those who master themselves will ever truly be free. You have two options. You can live like the majority, complaining, fearing, and reacting. Or you can rise above, embrace Stoicism, and become unshaken. Which path will you choose? The weak man allows emotions to rule his life. He reacts impulsively to every challenge, letting anger, fear, and frustration control his decisions. He is a slave, not to any external force, but to his own undisciplined mind. He blames the world for his suffering, never realizing that the true battle is within. He avoids hardship, seeks comfort, and indulges in pleasure, never understanding that each moment of indulgence makes him weaker. He lives in fear, fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of what others think. He is not free. He is chained by his own mind. The Stoic, however, is different. He does not react. He responds. He does not complain. He adapts. He does not fear. He accepts. He understands that life is unpredictable, that suffering is inevitable, and that control is an illusion. And because he accepts these truths, he is free. No insult can wound him. No failure can shake him. No hardship can break him. He has trained himself to remain steady in the face of chaos. He does not seek an easy life. He seeks strength. Discipline is his weapon. The modern world glorifies comfort, but the Stoic knows that comfort weakens the soul. He wakes up early, not because it is easy, but because it builds resilience. He exercises, not for vanity, but for strength. He practices self-control, not because he has to, but because he refuses to be ruled by his impulses. He does what is difficult, because he knows that difficulty is the only path to true power. He does not waste time chasing pleasure, because he knows that real fulfillment comes from discipline, not indulgence.
Pain is his teacher. Most people run from pain. They numb it with distractions, avoiding discomfort at all costs. But the Stoic embraces pain. He sees it as a lesson, a test, an opportunity to grow. He understands that suffering is not an enemy, but a companion on the journey to strength. He does not ask for an easy road. He asks for the strength to walk the difficult one. He does not wish for comfort. He wishes for the ability to endure. Adversity is his training ground. A man who has never faced hardship is weak. He crumbles at the first sign of struggle. He fears loss because he has never prepared for it. But the Stoic prepares. He exposes himself to difficulty before it arrives. He fasts so that hunger does not frighten him. He trains his body so that fatigue does not weaken him. He practices detachment so that loss does not destroy him. He is not a victim of circumstance. He is a master of his own mind. Silence is his power. The world is loud. Everyone is speaking, arguing, shouting to be heard. But the Stoic remains silent. He does not waste words on meaningless debates. He does not argue for the sake of pride. He observes, he listens, he understands. His silence is not weakness, it is control. He speaks only when necessary, and when he does, his words carry weight. He does not seek to impress others. He seeks only to live with wisdom. Death is his reminder. Most people live as if they are immortal, wasting time on trivialities, fearing things that do not matter. But the Stoic remembers. Every morning, he reminds himself that this could be his last day. And because he embraces death, he truly lives. He does not postpone his purpose. He does not delay his discipline. He does not waste his moments. He understands that time is the most valuable currency, and he spends it wisely. The world does not reward those who complain. It does not favor those who seek comfort. It does not respect those who beg for an easier path. The world respects the strong, the disciplined, the unshaken, and strength is not given. It is built. Discipline is not gifted. It is earned. The Stoic understands this, and so he walks a different path, not because it is easy, but because it is right. He does not fight against the storm. He becomes the storm. The Stoic walks through fire without flinching. He does not beg for mercy, nor does he curse his fate. He does not question why hardship exists. He simply endures it. He understands that struggle is not an obstacle. It is the forge that shapes him. Just as fire hardens steel, adversity strengthens his soul. He does not wish for an easy life because he knows that ease breeds weakness. Hardship is not his enemy. It is his greatest ally. When the world turns against him, he does not break. When others panic, he remains calm. When others fall into despair, he sees opportunity. He has trained himself to be indifferent to misfortune, for he understands a simple truth. No external event has the power to harm him unless he allows it to. His peace is not given to him by the world, and so the world cannot take it away. Most men live in fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of pain, fear of death. But the Stoic has confronted these fears head-on and stripped them of their power. He has failed before, and he has risen again. He has been rejected, and yet he still stands. He has suffered, and yet he remains unbroken. He does not fear pain, for he has already endured it. He does not fear loss, for he knows that nothing truly belongs to him. He does not fear death, for he has already accepted it. He moves through the world with purpose. While others chase distractions, he pursues wisdom. While others waste their time, he sharpens his mind. While others seek comfort, he builds resilience. He does not live for pleasure, nor does he seek approval. He does not desire recognition or status. He desires only mastery over himself. He knows that true power is not found in wealth, fame, or control over others. It is found in the ability to command one's own mind. The Stoic does not react to insults, for he knows that the words of others have no power over him. He does not seek revenge, for he understands that anger is a chain that binds the weak. He does not dwell on the past, for he knows that regret is useless. He does not worry about the future, for he understands that worry changes nothing. He lives only in the present, fully, completely, with unwavering focus. When he speaks, his words are measured, precise, and filled with meaning. He does not waste breath on gossip, nor does he seek to prove himself with empty boasts. He does not argue for the sake of pride. He listens more than he speaks, and when he speaks only what is necessary. His silence is not hesitation, it is strength. His calmness is not weakness, it is absolute control. No hardship can break him, no success can corrupt him. He is as steady in defeat as he is in victory. He understands that both triumph and failure are temporary, fleeting moments in the grand flow of time. He does not cling to pleasure, nor does he dread suffering. He accepts all things as they come, without resistance, without complaint. He does not seek the easy path. He does not wish for luck or fortune. He does not pray for circumstances to be in his favor. He simply prepares. He endures. He adapts. And because of this, he is always ready. Whatever comes his way, betrayal, hardship, loss, he welcomes it as a test, as an opportunity to prove himself. He does not ask for life to be easier. He only asks to be stronger. He knows that life is short, that every moment wasted is a moment lost forever. And so he does not waste his time on trivial things. He does not argue over meaningless matters. He does not seek validation from others. He does not let distractions steal his focus. He is not concerned with being liked, only with being honorable. He does not strive to be remembered. He strives to live rightly. And when his time comes, he will not resist. He will not cling to life out of fear. He will not beg for more time. He will simply nod, accept, and walk forward without hesitation. For he has lived as a Stoic, and he will die as one, calm, steady, unshaken. The Stoic walks through life as if he has already accepted his fate. He does not fear loss, failure, or even death. He understands that everything in this world is temporary: wealth, status, reputation, even life itself. And because he has embraced this truth, he is untouchable. No insult can harm him. No hardship can shake him. No fear can control him. He has mastered the only thing that truly belongs to him, his mind. But the question remains, have you? The world will test you. Life will throw challenges in your path. People will betray you. Circumstances will not always be in your favor, but in those moments, you have a choice. Will you react with anger, fear, and despair like the weak? Or will you remain calm, disciplined, and unshaken like the Stoics? This is not just philosophy. This is a way of life, a path to inner strength, resilience, and ultimate freedom. And if you choose to walk this path, you will never be controlled by the world again. If you're ready to master yourself, embrace discipline, and live as a true Stoic, then make the commitment now. Apply these principles, live them, and when challenges arise, remind yourself, I am unshaken. If this message resonates with you, subscribe for more wisdom and let the journey begin.